Now, one of the most audacious takeover bids seen in many years has been the Stokes family's Seven Group, recently grabbing 70% of Australia's leading building materials company, Boral. It was breathtaking because Seven Group made a nil premium offer. Technically, it shouldn't have worked, but it was swamped with sellers. But that deal also sees one of Australia's great entrepreneurs, 80-year-old Kerry Stokes, step down as chairman of Seven Group Holdings, though he does remain chairman of Seven West Media. His son, Ryan, is chief executive of Seven Group, which owns WestTrac, the Caterpillar machinery franchisee. There's Coates Hire and also 28% of Beach Energy. He's also the newly installed chairman of Boral. Ryan Stokes speaks rarely in public, but this week sat down for an in-depth interview with Business Weekend. I started by asking about his father, Kerry's legacy.
Well, Ross, say he's retiring from the board, but he's not retiring from an interest in the company. It still has a significant financial interest and still a significant interest in our success. So I think that'll be there. Today, it should be seen as a statement of confidence here in the board and management and what we're doing. So there is going to be an ongoing interest engagement, and through that, he'll still be actively involved in his way, but just not formally as chairman or formally on the board.
Take me to the portfolio of businesses now inside Seven Group. So there's WestTrac, the Caterpillar businesses. There's obviously Coates Hire is an important one. They're about, equipment, building. But where is the logic there for? Does the 70% of Boral fit into that logic, into that, if you like, portfolio of assets that are currently there?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we liked about the Boral story was its fit within the construction infrastructure story. We see the activity base within Australia playing out for a long time. So over the next decade, a high level of construction and infrastructure supporting that growth in the Australian economy, certainly across the East Coast and also West. Boral is well positioned in that, and that's why we like the opportunity for Boral to refocus back to Australia, back to that core construction materials business. The fit and complement with WestTrac, which is more around the mining production side, and Coates with supporting some of the construction and infrastructure. They are businesses that fit a very unique industrials portfolio, playing into those themes, and we think that they'll work together. I mean, we don't in our business look to put them together to create unnatural synergies, but we think that there's opportunities to collaborate effectively. In our model, each of WestTrac and Coates have their own management teams. They're responsible and accountable to deliver their results and maximise the potential, work together where it makes sense and build the collaboration. But ultimately, what we liked about Boral was the opportunity we saw with construction and infrastructure as that would play through.
So just one big picture sort of question is about China. It's obviously been China's demand that has built minerals and built a lot of infrastructure in Australia. That relationship with China, how do you view that right now? It's troubled with the Australian government, but it still is very economically important to Australia. Absolutely.
It's a critical relationship to Australia, critical to our economic prosperity. They are our largest trading partner, and Australian economy benefits when the Chinese economy is growing, and I think that those benefits play through in multiple aspects within our economy. We'd like to see a strong collaborative relationship with China. Yes, there are going to be differences, but ultimately, from a trade perspective, it is increasingly important to Australia, and I think the current COVID challenges have impacted that relationship because we haven't had the ability to interact in person. We don't build relationships in China via Zoom meetings or the like. You need to spend time there, and I think both business and government has lacked that traditional interaction. And those dynamics create risks in relationships, and I think that's an attribute we'd like to see corrected, where we get back to being able to interact and forge at least understandings that are going to enable us to have strong trade relationships that can support each other's economic prosperity.
I was going to ask you about the portfolio of assets, and we've talked about Coates and Westtrack and Boral. They all sort of seem to fit together. Can I just ask, where does Seven West Media fit into this? The holding right now, 40% valued at about $280 million. The Seven Group in total now valued at more than $8 billion. So it's a tiny part of the portfolio. Yeah. So where exactly does that fit?
Well, look, we see value and opportunity within Seven West, and I think what they've done, the transformation highlights the potential to work through even what might have been challenging structural dynamics in a market. We see opportunity for that transformation to create value for Seven West. We think it's an important opportunity. It's been an important part of the group for a long time. It's been part of the core foundation. The portfolio will evolve and change, and we would like to see over time we can support the management team within Seven West to create value and create opportunities that come with that.